and go.
Good evening, everybody that's here today, and it's not all the athletes, 110, Jacqueline, that we have? Jacqueline, 110 athletes? 108 athletes for our first CPA show of the year. So we're very excited. We're just stoked to get this going. We didn't have any shows last year except for one that kind of got completely flopped upside down on October 9th. So this one seems to be going off without a hitch, and I think that we're going to, successfully, I guess, execute this event. So we're pretty excited. So basically, I just wanted to talk to all the athletes about the show schedule tomorrow, because obviously it's not the same that we used to do in previous years when everyone could just go backstage and go about their business and kind of run freely through the venue. So where there's social distancing and COVID restrictions still in place, we're not in green yet, we're close, but we're getting there. We have to abide by a lot of rules and regulations from the Capitol and from the government. So basically, the thing that I wanted to mention, I can hear an echo here. Is my thing on? Okay, here we go. Yeah, it is. So I'm watching my own YouTube on my phone. So in the morning, we have all the men. Those are the classes that are going to be competing first in the morning. So we have the bodybuilders, the gladiators, the men's classic physique, men's physique, and then we'll get the women's physique kind of in at the tail end. So everyone can start arriving in the morning, probably around 8 o'clock, 7:50, 8 o'clock if you guys want to arrive. What we're going to do is we're going to assign dressing rooms to certain classes so that we know where everybody is to be placed. We're utilizing the space on the first floor, which is obviously the main level of the Capitol where the stage is, and there's dressing rooms back there. It's very spacious, but there's not a ton of numbers that can be down there at once. So we have to also utilize the space down there for the people lining up to go on stage. So we will be using this space as well. So this is kind of your backstage as well. So there's like 2 levels. So everybody should have gotten this athlete's package, okay? You wouldn't believe the number of texts and calls that I got today about information that's already in here. It's been in here for months. So I made a few changes this week, sent it and emailed it a couple days ago. So everyone should have read this, your Bible. So everything in here tells the times you need to show up, where you need to go, what you need to do. We can't have bikini competitors showing up here at 10 a.m. thinking they're going to get into the venue, because that's not how it's going to work this year. We could do that in the past when we had a big venue like the casino, but we can't do that this year because of COVID. So from 9 to approximately 11:30, hopefully, God willing, or 12, we should be done all of the guys, okay, the bodybuilders, classic, men's physique. Then we're going to have an hour break from 11:30 to 12:30 for the judges for their lunch and stuff, or 12 to 1, depending on the timing. And that's when the ladies can start to come in, probably right when we're getting ready for lunch. So you see how there's an exchange of gathering of people, like back and forth. We're not getting rid of you, but we're taking out the men's and we're bringing in the women. So that's kind of how we have to do it for this year. Hopefully things will change in the fall, where we can have a little bit more run freely and have a little bit more, I guess, flexibility. But so if I can get everyone out there to please read this. If you didn't receive it, please let me know. I'll do my best to send you a copy, but you should have all had it. So I think just different things that you guys need to know about basically in the venue in general is that while you're backstage or while you're up here or while you're downstairs, you have to have your mask on. I mean, that's pretty, that's pretty normal. I've been doing it for a year and a half. So we'll have everything set forth for you on arrows of where you got to go and what you got to do. We'll have workers that's going to lead you and guide you where you need to go when you go on stage. You don't have to wear a mask on stage. We're going to have, but this little baggie that everyone got at registration, I don't have one in my hand, but everybody got a baggie. It's your mask bag. So that's your bag you're going to hang on to all the time when you're walking around the venue, because when you're on stage, you still have to put your mask in that bag, give it to the girl that we have assigned for that station. And when you come off stage, you grab your mask, grab your bag, put your mask back on. And that's the rotation that we're going to follow. So we're doing this because we really don't need this event to be, not following COVID regulations, and we have to abide by the government's ruling. So I encourage everyone to make sure that they abide by the rules, and we don't want to police you, but you're all adults, so I think that we really need to do our best so that we can continue coming to this venue and that we don't have any issues or problems. Anything you want to add?
No, it's good.
Well, there's a lot more than that to talk about, so I just wanted to mention that I'm going to be sending out the actual staging procedures so that people can kind of see how they're going out and how they're coming back in, because this is a different venue. We're not used to this venue. So Jamie and I had to go down and kind of walk through it ourselves to see exactly what side we're coming in on and what side we're coming off. So we'll send you something so that you're a little bit more comfortable where you need to go and travel in through the venue. So men, you can stay here until you're done competing, and as soon as you're done, I would appreciate that you just leave the venue and go back to your hotel, because we're going to be limited enough on space as it is. With 108 athletes, we have to make sure that we free up that space for the next competitors coming in. So everybody's aware of the lineups. They're different at night. We're putting men's physique first at night, followed by women's physique, followed by classic, followed by the Gladiator, followed by bodybuilding. So in the morning, it's Gladiator, bodybuilding, classic, men's physique, women's physique. So it's a little bit different, but we had to do that so that we could do the Gladiator at night in the way that we've kind of planned it out. We do have the Gladiators here with us. We're going to kind of show a few faces here and there during the press conference. That's going to follow this meeting. Somebody asked if they could bring back weights and stuff like that backstage. No, you can bring your own bands as long as you use your own bands in your own little corner. I don't mind that you take your mask off if you're in your own little corner and you've got your water and you're minding your own business and whatever. But when you're congregating, which I hope that not too many people are going to be congregating, but if you're a little bit close and together, make sure you always have your mask on. That's the only thing that I ask from you guys. We have backstage photos upstairs on the second level, and we have what did I say, second level?
Backstage photos.
Yeah, backstage photos. Thank you, Don. On the second level is going to be through that curtain in that room there. There's an actual elevator that will bring you up and down. So we're going to figure that out, Mike Bernard's back there. So we're going to figure that out, the appointments, and make it so that we understand when people come up here to get their photos and when they don't, because most of the time the women are up there, right? So we have to make sure that we coordinate that properly. Be a doctor on site at all times if we need somebody, if there's someone's ill or anything like that. Like I said, lots of backstage people to help you. We're going to have a touch-up tanning as well. She's going to be down in the loading dock on the first level, so she'll coordinate all that as well. And again, the entering and exiting the stage protocols will all be completely sent to you guys, and we'll post that so that you guys are familiar with how to go on and off the stage. Award presentations on stage. The sponsor will come up, of course, masked, whatever. I would prefer us not to do the victory pose this year just because of COVID, so you're just going to pose and we'll have the sponsors stand off the side and take the pictures. For the overall winners, okay, if you win an overall, We'd like you to actually go to the green room backstage and kind of wait around there until the show is over. Unless you have tickets in the audience, obviously go watch. But we don't want you to leave the venue because we always need our overall photo on stage with all of our winners at the end of the show. So that's not changed, and we really want to do that. So it would look really bad if we only had 5 overalls and one person's missing. So, so if somebody wins their overall in their discipline, we want to keep you backstage in the green room until we do that photo at the end. 2 minutes. Any questions from the gladiators while they're here? Any questions? Anything that you want to know? I'm going to be sending out notifications on the app. So everybody should download the Musclewear app. You go to your apps, put in Musclewear. Download that app because that's the app that is going to tell you exactly what's going on, where to go, who's on deck, if you're next. We're going to try to put, is there a TV there, Jamie?
Yeah.
We're going to try to put the stream up here.
There's a projection screen and the sound will come through the speakers as well.
So we're going to have the stream going up here, which will be great. We'll put the stream on, and we'll put the stream on in the green room as well, just so that we can keep things moving smoothly. That's kind of that bonus plus.
The volume from the stage will also be going through all the dressing rooms downstairs, so they'll hear what's going on the stage.
Okay, perfect. So it's going to be a lot better, and it's good for us because where you guys are separated, there's people separated from the upstairs to the downstairs, it can make things a little bit more difficult.
Is that app just for us alone? Is that app just for the gladiators? Or?
No, it's an app for all the
Okay,
athletes.
so I don't know my Apple ID, so I can get somebody else to download it for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Darren.
I don't like technology, right?
No
A
problem.
lot of us don't.
And
Heather, mention bikinis with high heels going up and down those stairs.
yeah, so the bikini girls obviously are going to be up in this room because this is the biggest room, and that's, you know, the bulk of our competitors, bikini, wellness, some figures. So just be careful when you're going down the stairs to the main level because you guys have high heels on and stuff. So just please be careful. Hang on to the hand railings.
Or remove your heels.
Or even you can even remove your heels till you get to get downstairs and put them on downstairs. You know, but that might be easier for you guys.
Usually.
So what else? Anything else, Jamie? Everybody that is back, not the athletes, but staff, okay, or anyone that should be backstage or is authorized to be backstage will have a yellow bracelet on and one of these, okay? So those are the only people that should be backstage wandering around besides athletes that are all tan. You pretty much know who you guys all are, so you your buttons on. So something else. Tickets are sold out. They've been since the day they went on sale, so an hour in. So if you want to see the show, there's a stream, and we're going to keep posting that stream on my Facebook, and it's on the website as well. You go to www.atlanticclassic.ca, and you can click on a button that brings you to the stream. So you get the whole show for $39.99, so it's a pretty good deal. I think we can start. I don't think there's anything else, like in general, that I can think of, unless you can think of something.
No, everything will be done tomorrow morning. All the questions will be answered tomorrow morning. We'll have everything in place. So just to all the athletes, just relax and enjoy it. We'll be here for your answers. Nothing else to say, really. It's all good.
And just one more thing, we have an amazing friggin' presentation event tomorrow. It is something you'll have never seen and will never see again. So it's going to be extraordinary. So if you get the chance to buy the stream, it's going to be worth every penny. So.
All right, so we're going to start with the Gladiator press conference. First of all, I want to welcome all the Gladiators. Thank you for being here. I know you're tired, and you probably want to go and eat more carbs, and we'll do that very shortly. I want to thank the sponsor for your hoodies and for your hats, Boss Supplements. He's got two locations, one in Moncton here and one in Dartmouth Crossings. He'll be the only booth here allowed tomorrow. So we would appreciate it if everybody just wants to go and say hi to Matt. He's the owner, Matt Nakachuk. And if you want some goodies, he'll have all kinds of goodies there available for you. I'm going to touch a little bit of the history of the Gladiator. A lot of people ask me how and why it came about. Well, the reason why it came about is because in 2015, Heather and I sat down and we did statistics as to how many competitors were actual bodybuilders in our show, and it was 11%. And way back in the 80s and 90s, it was 100%. So I wanted to figure out a way how to bring back bodybuilding up, bring the statistics up. So as a kid, I was watching the WWF, which is now the WWE. And I really liked their marketing strategy, so I thought, I'm going to try to market bodybuilding in a way where people will be interested. How am I going to do that? So I don't know how I came up with the name of Gladiators. I guess it's because bodybuilders do look like gladiators. When you go watch gladiator movies, they're guys that are somewhat built. So I just decided that, you know, we're going to put on a show and we're going to invite all of Atlantic's best athletes, and it'll be by invitation only. And maybe that'll perk up the bodybuilding, and it did. Like our statistics now are a lot higher. Not as high as bikini, but we're getting there. So in our first year in 2016, we had one division, which was called the Gladiator. We had 15 competitors. 2 years later, we had the David and Goliath, which was two different divisions. We had 18 competitors. So after that, we thought, I was sitting with Heather one day and I said, let's try to make 3 different classes, but let's look at what these guys were called way back in the day, you know, like in the Roman days. So Heather came up with a name, Gallus, Samnites, and Thracians. So tomorrow we're going to have a total of 18 competitors again. 9 of them are Gallus, 7 Samnites, and only 2 Thracians. So I guess those 2 guys are going to have to go head to head and see who's going to be the best one.
Actually, there's 3 now.
Oh, there's 3?
Yeah.
That changed again?
We had a change, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Change
Darren.
again. Okay.
So,
All right, things change. Other statistics you might like is the age groups. In the 20s, we have 4 gladiators. In the 30s, we have 4. In the 40s, we have 5. And in the 50s, we have 5. So we're going to have the youngins against the elderlies, I guess, if you want to call it that way. It's going to be very interesting. So I'm going to start by interviewing and calling out each gladiator one by one. And when I call your name, I'd appreciate it if you stand, because everybody's wearing masks. Like, we don't even know who half the guys are here. So just wave when I announce your name. And I'm going to start with the oldest gladiator. I'm not going to tell you his age. There he is. Donald Levesque. Donald is from Lower Wedgeport, Nova Scotia. So Donald, at 13 years old, he was brought up on a farm, and him and his 3 brothers, they got a set of weights for Christmas, just like I did when I was a kid, in a Weeder bench, and then they started training. So I'm going to ask Donald this question. What really got you into bodybuilding?
Well, when I was 13 years old, my sister, we went to the Red River X in Winnipeg, and we had to go to the bathroom, so we went into the building, and my sister and I, we were looking, and these guys were walking by, and they were huge, big. So we asked what was going on, and they said it was Mr. Manitoba was happening that evening at the Red River X. So I said, man, one day I'd love to stand on stage, and 40 years later I did it.
Nice.
It was a bucket list thing I had, and it was about 40 years later. I was 54 when I first stood on stage, and I loved it, and it's a bug, and I'm back this year at 57, and I'm here to show the young ones what it's all about.
Great. I know you're a vegan, so why don't you tell us how do you get your protein and how do you get your energy source?
Pea protein is the vegans' go-to source. I love it. It's 86% pure protein. When you buy 1,000 grams, you're getting 860 grams of pure protein. So I put it in everything. I put it in my pancakes. I put it in my mushroom soups, my bean soups. One scoop gives me 45 extra grams of protein, and you don't even taste it really in the ingredients. So my wife Julie makes a lot of recipes, and soon we'll be doing some videos on that vegan food for bodybuilders.
All right, Donald, thank you very much.
Thank
Very
you.
interesting. Now we're going to go to the youngest competitor. And I will tell you his age. His name is Jérôme Leboutillier. He's 21 years old, and he's from Caraquet, New Brunswick. How does it feel to be the youngest competitor amongst all of these veterans and
Jerome, you can take your mask
experienced bodybuilders?
To be honest, I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm really, really excited. I'm gonna prove what I got and show these guys that even if I'm young, I can compete against them.
So you're going to give these veterans a good run for their money.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, remember that, guys. All right, Jerome, thank you very much. Our next gladiator is not really someone who hasn't been around. This guy has once trained with Ronnie Coleman. They were doing lunges walking down the street. People thought they were nuts. He's from Summerside, PI, Corey Arsenault. All right, Corey. What's being invited to the Gladiator mean to you? Because it's your second time around. So
it's an honor. It absolutely is. I know, like, I started in 1997 at the Moncton High that isn't even around anymore, and it was a high school gymnasium with you and I one year, Jean, put seats out, chairs like this out to make more seats in the auditorium, to get more people in. Like, we started in such a low gymnasium, and now we've got this beautiful production that rivals the Olympic, it rivals the Arnold Classic. We are so fortunate that these two people here have hoodies and hats and the production tomorrow. Like, I tell people, this is like a Vegas show. It's not like any other show that I've ever been to in a local level. So it's an honor. It absolutely is an honor.
thank you. Now you own a gym. Do you train at your gym, or do you go somewhere else just to get away from everybody?
I train at my gym 98% of the time, and then I snuck away the last 2 weeks just to kind of take a break. Because it's hard to take a break when you're the owner and you're, I should go clean that, or I should, a member needs help. So it's hard to put on the face of leave me alone when you're a business owner. So I try to sneak out when I can.
All right, Corey. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sean. Thank you, Heather.
Thanks,
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Our next competitor is Antoine Arsenault from Moncton, New Brunswick. Antoine. Antoine, I heard that you have, I don't know if it's the ability or if it's whatever you want to call it, but you seem to fall asleep everywhere you go.
I do.
You fell asleep at 4, right?
Yeah, I did.
Now, I'm wondering if you're going to fall asleep at a prejudging tomorrow.
Actually, it's kind of funny to say. The last time I competed in PEI, Marlo actually woke me up from sleeping at prejudging. It was pretty embarrassing, actually. But yeah, that time at Cora's, it was a competition as well. It was the last Gladiator that I competed at. I didn't do the Gladiator, it was my first show. But I was pretty tired and I was kind of snoring. And it was pretty funny.
So you might want to tell everybody why did you start bodybuilding? What's in it for you?
Well, I was always the nerdy, chubby kid, and I saw people, and all I wanted to do is get abs. And then I started at the gym. I got addicted to it, and I just got better and better and better. And then I competed my first show, and it was the first Gladiator. And I was, oh my God, I want to be one of these guys, but I guess I'm here right now. So I guess whatever I'm doing is working.
Yeah, you earned it.
Yeah, well, good luck tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
The next competitor is from Lake Echo, Nova Scotia, Alex Bland. Alex, you're involved in a lot of stuff, martial arts, strongman contest. What was it like prepping without a gym and really having no idea if you could cross over to be here today?
It it was definitely tough. I had a lot of moments where I was just like, this ain't happening, I'm not doing it. And for a little while, after things closed, it literally only got worse and worse and worse. And it was just like, man, I don't think this is gonna work out. But I luckily had a basement set up, not a lot, some rusty weights, dumbbells that could go up to 100. I'd take my Taekwondo belt and tie it through 2 kettlebells and do belt squats.
Yeah.
And even me and my roommate, he has a big diesel truck. So we took the 4 diesel truck tires and put it on a 4x4 and was doing squats with the diesel truck tires. So it was not ideal or pretty, but I'm here and I'm definitely ready. So it's
Well,
worth it.
you made a lot of improvements in the last year, so what would you attribute those improvements to?
So honestly, over the last year and a half, I did little to no bodybuilding at all as far as bodybuilding training goes. As soon as the last Gladiator got canceled and everything shut down, I was just like everybody else here, bummed out, depressed, didn't have anything to do. And when gyms opened back up, there was a new strongman gym in Dartmouth, so I was like, oh, I'll go just try it out, take a drop in and see. And after one workout, I was hooked. Like I've only done strongman training since. I basically do 1 or 2 strongman events every day and finish it with some bodybuilding accessories, that lined up with the event, and put on about 15 pounds of muscle.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's impressive.
if you guys want to grow some dense muscle, try out strongman training, and it's fun.
Well, nice to know. Thank you, Alex.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Our next competitor is from North Tattacush, New Brunswick, Jean-François Legacy. Jean-François, you said that one of your profound experiences was the year that you won and that you had all of your family on stage with you for the pictures. Let's hope that you can repeat that this year, and then if you do, we'll definitely have your family back on stage with you. How's that? Who inspired you to start training? And what motivates you to keep on training?
Well, my father and my brother used to work out. My father worked out until he was 30-something, and my brother used to work out when he was in high school. And when he left for university, I'm 2 years younger, and I said to myself, I'm going to try to put some muscle on, so when he comes back from university, let's see, I'm going to put some muscle on, so that's what I did. When he came back, he was kind of impressed. I was to myself, well, if my big brother's impressed, I should be,
So now that when he sees you, he must be depressed because you're twice his size.
I'm still his brother. He's his brother. So. But yeah, that's what got me into it. My father and my brother got me into weightlifting.
Family affair.
Family affair, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Jean-François.
Thank you
very much. All right, Steve Damone from Halifax, Nova Scotia. You say here that you've been in various shows with your wife. Your wife has competed as well. You guys do the prep together. Does this help you guys, or is this ready for a divorce?
It's actually helped us.
It helped you?
Yeah.
How so?
Because we've been together for 15 years, and we've literally worked together for 15 years and trained at the gym since we've been together.
All right, what I'm about to say, guys, I want all you gladiators to listen, because you're going to learn something, okay? This guy is smart.
This guy's an angel.
Okay? His strength is listening to my wife. Okay? Now I want you to elaborate to us guys here that don't know how that works. How does that work for you?
She actually got me ready for the show.
Yeah.
She told me what to do, cardio, whatever. She said it, I did it. Even if I didn't want to do it, I did it.
Nice.
Good for you. Good for you.
Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
All right. If your wife tells you what to do, do it.
Yes,
Thank you very much, buddy. Our next competitor is a superstar in Newfoundland and here in Atlantic Canada. He is a legend. This guy has competed for 20 years, or more than that. This is his 20th bodybuilding show. There's nothing he hasn't won. And when one of my friends that is here tonight, doing a Gladiator, found out that he was competing, he texted me and he told me, Johnny Whalen's competing, well, I'm gonna have to step it up a notch. So that says a lot about Johnny Whalen. So Johnny, like, why have you stuck with bodybuilding all these years? Why are you still doing this?
Thanks, Steve. I guess for me, bodybuilding has been the one constant thing in my life since, I guess, in the teenage years. It's been a little over 32 years now that I've been working in gyms, and kind of my whole lifestyle has revolved around bodybuilding. But I think it's like any addiction. You get into a sport and you're constantly trying to improve yourself. And I think bodybuilding is the one thing that you never quite get to that ultimate level where you're happy with everything you're doing and everything's perfect. Like, I don't think anyone ever looks in the mirror and said, perfect, I look exactly how I want to. You always see things you want to improve. And I've kind of ran with that over the last 20-odd years, helping my clients that are through personal training that I've always done over the last, like you were saying, 30 years now. And it's, for me, this is kind of not in a negative way, but it's kind of a conclusion of 20 years of doing, this will be my 20th show. It'll be 32 years in bodybuilding. I'm probably the smallest guy here now, when I look around, but I'm not intimidated by all the big guys. I just know that it's something I always aspire to when I see younger guys and bigger guys. You always try to improve yourself, and you want to become better yourself. So for me, bodybuilding has always been the one constant in my life that's given me a challenge, but it's also been the one thing that gave me, I guess, to keep me grounded as a person, because it made me realize no matter who you are, there's always someone bigger, better, stronger. So you always want to stay humble and look at other people, not as your competitors, but as friends and people that can help you and you can help others, not so much the big attitude that a lot of people think bodybuilders are, that they're big muscle heads. I found most of the guys in bodybuilding I've met over the years are the most caring, heartfelt people you'll ever meet. And you and Tijan and Heather, you've given me an opportunity over the years to compete, which I think it's probably the best experience of my life that I've had to this day. So I truly, really appreciate the honor to be here. And I think for all the younger people going up through, if this is your first or second show, get used to it, because you're coming back and you'll be back again and again. And when I look at the level of everybody that's here now, there's one older guy here, not to take anything away, but the younger generation is at a whole other level, and they're just up in the sport each and every day. Each year I come back, it's like, wow, like, where are these guys coming from? So I'm truly amazed, but I'm honored to be part of this group. So I do thank you for the opportunity to be here. Okay.
Well, thank you. And Heather and I want to thank you for being part of this show. We really appreciate that. Thank you very much, John.
Thanks, Steve.
All right. Rowan Humble from Halifax, Nova Scotia.
My God.
I love your last name, because you are so humble.
I don't really have a choice, I kind of have to. That's why
I mean, your wife tells you?
So how did you manage to train without a gym for, what, 6 weeks or so?
So I definitely didn't have diesel tires on the back of my stick, or on the back of a big branch like Alex did. But we knew after the first lockdown that we were going to have to collect some free weights, so we did whatever we had to. We had enough free weights to get the job done. Now, doing high rep leg workouts gets a little frustrating at a certain point, but you got to do what you got to do. There were even times where we were doing lunges down the apartment hallway of our building. It's not orthodox, but you know, it's possible, and that's kind of the thing that I wanted to preach. And honestly, after we got canceled last year, we were pretty disheartened, and we were kind of thinking of it in the perspective of how much we would be disappointed if we were to pull out and the show were still to happen this year. So we got to give a big thank you, of course, to you, Tijan and Heather, of course, for keeping us motivated, especially through this process, because we all knew there were a lot of uncertainties, and you guys really helped motivate the crowd and get the group going, and that's why we're all here today.
Well, thank you very much for your answer. Nice. Our next competitor is from Dieppe, New Brunswick, Chris Pinero. We could talk about Chris probably for about 5 hours, but we don't have that much time. Chris is originally from Cuba. He came here at 9 years old with his mom, I believe, just your mom. So I know that you left most of your family back in Cuba, and that must be hard for you. So is that what motivates you? Is that what lights up the fire under your behind for you to succeed?
That every day. Me having the opportunity to come here for a better life. sacrifice in me fires me up every day. So I found the gym kind of my getaway from feeling down, being apart from them. So I use the gym to keep me motivated. It's a positive addiction, and they fire me up to wake up every day. And not just the gym, but just anything I do. I give all my heart for them.
So you're going to be in 3 different classes.
Yeah.
How do you feel? How do you think you're going to do in those classes?
I think I have the physique for classic and bodybuilding at this stage, and I prepared really hard for every division. I think I'll do really well, and I gave it all in this prep. There's nothing more I could give, so I'm really confident. I'm ready, and thank you guys for keeping me focused. And I wasn't sure if I was going to make it for this date, but Heather and Dijon, you guys kept me in line, and I'm glad I stayed with it. Kept pushing, and I'm ready.
Right on. Well, good luck tomorrow, Chris. Our next competitor is from the Miramichi, Dion Peterson. Hey, Dion.
Yes.
Dion has come a long ways. Dion was an addict, and I'd like for him to tell us how he took that addiction and became the man that you are today.
It's funny you ask that, because we hear addiction, the word's been mentioned here probably, 4 or 5 times in this press conference. I was the same. I started lifting weights when I was 15. I was totally addicted to bodybuilding, totally, inside out. Cousin Jamie inspired me. I looked up to Kenny Black, Corey McCormick, a lot of these guys in Miramichi that, you know, when I looked at, I thought they were superhuman. So from 16 to probably my early 30s, that's really all I did was weight train, and I competed probably 3 or 4 times. I think we were 16, AJ, in our first show. You were 17. So really no problems. When I hit my 30s, I had some personal issues I went through, divorce, breakup, and I just kind of quit on life. So I traveled, I went out west, I was in the States, but the demons kept chasing me, and every job I had, I'd drink it away, you know, gym jobs, stopped training, stopped competing. Before I knew it, I'm 40 years old. You know, I'm addicted to meth, drinking every day. I weigh like 113 pounds. You guys have probably seen some of the pictures. But here we are today. So 2018, I said I want to make a comeback. Jamie helped me out, and we won the Novice Classic Physique. So I get shaken up because just standing here with you guys, I was back there getting tan, looking, saying, oh my God, look at the Gladiators. Like, someday, maybe, could I be that? So to be here today, and just 10 weeks ago as well, I was in the hospital for a while, and I was pretty sick. So to be here, guys, I'm winning all the way. You know, it's a victory to me.
Our next competitor is Alton Dunn. Alton is from Miramichi, and I think Alton, when we sent his invitation, he replied in 3.4 seconds. The fastest ever.
Must have been something slow.
So, what does it mean to you being here with the Gladiator?
Oh, it's hard to describe. I think everybody knows how big a fan I was since 2015. Watched it, and Kenny Black, you know, when I was 15, 16, my cousin Corey introduced me to Kenny. Kenny was, he had small waist, big shoulders, and we trained together. And then he was Gladiator in 2015, and Jamie was there, and all my kind of contemporaries. Corey gets invited, and Dion, and I put a little fire in me, and I competed every show, and I never cared about a trophy. I didn't care first place. I just wanted that ticket to the Gladiator show. When it finally happened, I'm telling you, no. If it was 2.4 seconds, there was something wrong with the internet.
I just want everybody here to know that Alton also won the Kenny Black Award. And the Kenny Black Award is an award that is given each year to someone that we feel is humble and that is very much giving to the world of bodybuilding. Alton, congratulations on your win. Our next competitor is from The Rock, or we could say Houston, Texas, from St. John's, Newfoundland, Darren Gray.
Here again.
Darren has owned many gyms, personal training. He's into all kinds of fitness in the fitness industry. So, Darren, you compete in classic and bodybuilding. What discipline do you enjoy the most and why?
I don't know, I think they're both the same because for me, where I come in with my weight and my height, it's pretty much either you're on the top of light heavy or the bottom of heavy, which is the same as my height for a classic. So I think both of them are just as enjoyable for me, but the classic, of course, takes me back to when I first started training, which was Richard and those guys, Richard Gasparian, and they were my bodybuilders of time. So I think I do have a passion for the classic a little more, and the fact that bodybuilding, you look at Morgan and the bigger guys, and like John said earlier on, that's past me now. So the classic is definitely a little bit more favorable than bodybuilding, but from a personal perspective, I wouldn't really choose one over another.
Now, in Newfoundland, like, you know, bodybuilding or fitness the industry had kind of gone down a little bit. So what would you suggest that we could do to improve the fitness industry, the bodybuilding industry in Newfoundland?
Well, I think you guys got off to a good start initially. You just had to basically deal with the pandemic like us all, right? And I think the sport is there. I mean, like when you look at the gyms, it's still a growing industry, and I think I've seen people around on social media and stuff like that. So I think the market is still there. It's just a matter of getting back on track with it. I think you guys are doing what needs to be done to get it there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next competitor is the lightest guy in here. He's from Sydney Mines. He's got 290 here. I don't know where he buys his clothes, but it's certainly not where I buy mine. Who's your favorite bodybuilder and why are you competing in this sport?
My favorite bodybuilder of all time would have to be Ronnie Coleman, just because he was a savage. He was strong, he was massive, and 8-time Mr. Olympia. So when I first walked into Moxon Fitness in Sydney and he was on the wall, I was like, I want to be like that dude. Well, obviously, he was as far off as possible. I mean, I was at the time 6'3", 195 pounds, and Barry Gwynn looked at me and said, you might want to start picking up some weights, man, because you're not even close to that guy. So, and I don't know, for me, I like, you know, there's not a lot of bodybuilders in Cape Breton. So when I look at the kids coming up, I want to show them that it doesn't matter where you're from, because I heard so many times, like, you know, you're from Cape Breton, there's not a lot of sponsors, there's not a lot of really backing behind the sport. And to me, with social media, you know, like, I know a ton of people, kids now that follow Morgan, because they're seeing the social media and they're seeing the up and coming guys, right? So I don't care to me where you're from. If you got the hard work and the heart and the yes, you know, behind it, I think you can do anything you want.
On behalf of everybody here, I want to thank you for your military service. And how did the military life help you with your bodybuilding?
Military life helped me in my bodybuilding because it taught me discipline. I mean, I've done a lot of tours, and to be honest with you, that brotherhood that I got in the military, the only other place I got it was in bodybuilding. Like when you were telling your story about recovering addict, I mean, I'm over here filling up because I feel for you. I just want to go over and shake your hand, which I will in a minute, because I got so many friends at home and so many friends that left the military that are the same thing, and they turn to the gym to save them. It's their church, it's a serenity. It's the fitness that took them from not necessarily gutter, but saved their life, gave them a second chance and something to believe in. So for me, the gym is, like I said, it's my church, it's my serenity, and it's my personal savior. So
100%. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Our next competitor is from Blackville, New Brunswick, Jamie Peterson. He's no stranger to the Gladiator. The last time he couldn't because he tore his tricep, but he's here all in one piece today. Jamie, what does it take, like, for you to stay in the sport so long? You've been in the sport many, many years. What does it take?
The love of it, everything. The gym gets a little bit old after a bit, but you make new things work for you and stuff. But the competing, there's even at the hardest times of the diet, it's still fun. You know, it's still it's the way my life has been, and like John said, it's something that you can turn to, and you know where it was. You know what you were doing there, and it didn't. If you give the work, it didn't let you down.
So is this your last show? Putting you on the spot, Jamie.
I think so, yeah.
You think so?
I think it is.
Well, if it is, we really appreciate you competing, and let's hope that it's not.
Yeah.
And I would like to also say that Jamie was also a recipient of the Kenny Black Award, so congratulations. Our next guy, very tiny guy. He's from St. John's, Newfoundland. His name is Morgan McDonald. When I said a minute ago that John Whalen was he was well known in Newfoundland, he was a legend. Well, Morgan's most profound experience. My most profound experience was watching Johnny Whalen win the 2013 Newfoundland Provincials, and that's what made me decide that I wanted to continue bodybuilding. So you want to elaborate on that, Mark?
Yeah, I actually forgot I wrote that, and when John started speaking, I was going to bring it up because I think that he deserves it. And yeah, basically 2013 was the first show I ever did, and it was Newfoundland Provincials. And I was like going to school and going through the prep was my first one, and I just remember being like 2 or 3 weeks out and being like, there's absolutely no way I'm ever doing this again. it was I found it so brutal, and but then I did the show, made it, like looked all right, and I just remember being backstage before the show started, and like kind of checking everyone out, and then John Whalen comes back, and he's the only person fully clothed, and right before we go on stage, he takes off his tracksuit, and the guy's just like diced dry, like makes everyone else look like they barely even worked out or dieted, right? And then I remember watching him win the overall and just saying to myself that like one day I just need to know what that feels like to win the whole show, be the last man standing kind of thing. And I've been chasing after that ever since, and this is going on my 8th show. And I think this is the 3rd, maybe 4th time me and John have competed together. But it's just an honor to have him here because, I mean, obviously this is going to be my most recent show, and he won my first one. So just have him part of this, and all you guys, and you guys putting off the show, of course. Like, I'm just super excited to be here, and you know, thanks John for showing up in 2013 because
You're welcome, buddy.
I probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, man. So yeah.
Thank you very much, Morgan. Appreciate that. Good luck, Morgan. My next competitor is from Dieppe. I've known this guy for many, many years. He's a very hardcore bodybuilder, like we're talking major hardcore, sometimes a little lunatic. If this guy had any genetics, he wouldn't be here tonight. He would have been a pro a long, long time ago. His name is Chris Selkirk. So Chris,
That's because I was training with you all the time.
I'm supposed to help. So Chris, like, you're 52 years old, and I've watched you, I've seen your pics. This is the best you've ever looked in your life. So what would you say, what would you attribute your best look at 52 to say compared to 20 years ago? Why do you look so much better?
Because I got shit genetics, and it takes me a long time to get there.
But this year you must have done something different because you look totally
The biggest change was I probably stayed leaner. Of course, like everybody else, I got stung by COVID last year, prepping for the same show, and you know, I thought to myself, you got to be honest with what your strengths and weaknesses are and work on them, right? At 52, I'm not going to gain another 20 pounds of muscle, so I think I dropped 12 pounds to get to where I was in my 16-week prep this time versus 25 or so. So that's probably the biggest difference.
Great. Good luck tomorrow, Chris.
Thanks.
And our last gladiator, certainly not the least, is Andy Briggs from Rothsay, New Brunswick. Andy's most profound experience was he was mad at bodybuilding because he thought he had put too much time into the sport. So he threw out all of his trophies, put them in the garbage and threw them all out. So my question to you, Andy, is why the hell did you come back?
It's addicting. I just love it. I don't know. I mean, I think we all have these moments of reflection where we look at our lives and we think, you know, the amount of effort, the amount of work that I put into this, has it paid off? Is it worth it? Is it worth it to go through all this hardship for a $2, $50 trophy?
Yeah.
That was back in the high school days when they were $2.
Yeah, back then.
Recycled.
Right? Yeah, back in those old days. But, you know, in that moment of, you know, darkness that I was in, I couldn't see how much it had brought to me, you know? Like, if this was easy, everybody'd do it. Everybody looked like us. It should be, you know, simple. But it's not. It's so hard. It takes so much out of us. And I think that's why we build such amazing relationships with one another. You know, we're like a really close-knit family. And I've gotten to know so many people through bodybuilding. You know, it really is still my life. I still love it. And I'm honored to be here today to give this another go.
So I know you were pregnant with your wife. How was that?
Oh, it was great. Oh, it really was. It was.
How come she been sleeping at our house for the last 2 months?
She's watching, isn't she?
She's amazing though. She does everything for me. She does so much. Amy is my rock. And I would never in a million years be able to pull this off. That's for sure.
Great. Well, I'm going to thank each and every one of you for the patience that you had tonight with this press conference. Thank you very much. Best of luck to you guys tomorrow. And this is the third time we have a Gladiator Showdown. Last year, of course, we had to cancel, but it'll be coming every 2 years again. And like I said, the best of luck to all of you guys tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
The Queen is speaking. I just wanted to say thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you, athletes, fans, everybody, for tuning in to the press conference. We really appreciate it. And a big shout out to our president, Mr. Ron Hashey, who's watching from Ontario. Thank you, Ron, for everything you've done for John and I and giving us these opportunities to hold these shows. And we appreciate you and we appreciate the Federation, and we're proud to be CPA promoters. So I'm going to sign it off, but the Gladiators are not allowed to leave because we need to discuss some secret squirrel stuff after we.
Oh, on a note, Heather stated that it was our first CPA show. It's the first CPA show of the year across Canada.
Right.
So you guys are making history today.
That's right. So we are the staple for what's about to come in Canada for the CPA. So we want to make sure that our first event goes off like a splash and explodes, and it's going to. So thank you, everyone, and buy the stream. Tune into this later if you didn't watch it, and have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow at the show. Good luck, everyone.